Welcome back to the channel. Today is Midnight Club 2 and how to get it set up on your Steam Deck. This is where you're going to want to go, is to this Reddit thread here, and just Google Midnight Club 2 PC. Pretty straightforward, and it's the first option. I won't put the link in the description below because I don't want to get a strike against my channel, so that is why it isn't in there. But just use any browser on your Steam Deck, head over to the drive account that they link, and go ahead and download it. This took about 4 minutes for me to download, so not too long. And it may take you longer depending on your internet speed. So once this is finished downloading, we'll move on to the next step, and that will be momentarily. Once it's downloaded, you go to your downloads folder where you'll find the Midnight Club folder, and then from there you're going to extract it to wherever you want it. I've put mine on my SD card here, but what you want to do is go into the settings here. So Midnight Club 2, and then under user data, and then go across here to the options config, or CFG. From in there, you're going to see your resolution. Now we need to change this to the Steam Deck resolution to start off with. Otherwise, the game is not going to launch. It's going to give you an error. So we're going to want to change this to 1280, the first line here. So to change it, we're going to hold the Steam button and push X, which will bring up the onboard keyboard. And then we're going to just type 1280 and then push the right trigger to accept it by 800. And that's all we have to do. And then after we pull the trigger there, we go save, and then the game will launch. Otherwise, it will not work. And you're going to need to make sure you add the .exe file to Steam. So this is this one here, the M2. We're just going to left trigger and then go to add to Steam. Once you've added that to Steam, we're going to go over to Steam, go to our library, and we're going to search for MC2. I've already set mine up, so I don't have to do that, but I will go through the process again of showing you how to do it. So you put MC2 here, but I'm just going to write Midnight Club, and you're going to click on it. You're going to see a cog. Now, it won't look quite like this, but you'll click on the cog, you go down to properties, and you're going to go down to compatibility here, and you're going to force a specific compatibility tool, and you're going to use Proton Experimental. From there, we will be able to launch the game. You can launch in desktop mode to make sure it's working, or you can head back to game mode, and I will show you how to set up the controls and the art if you so desire. My recommendation is before you start to play it, you go on to when you click on the game on the home screen, it'll have a control icon. Click on that, and you can go to community layouts. And if you search up King Salami Midnight Club 2, hopefully my layout will show up in the community layouts, and you can just download it. I just go through here all my key bindings, and you could, if you can't find it, you could go along and just pause this video and copy all my key bindings, and then carry on from there. Of course, you don't have to do that, but you can set your own controls and however you like them. But this will just speed things along a little bit before you launch into the game. But without further ado, I'll let my controls here run through, and then you can copy them if you so desire. The left trigger being mouse rain is really important because we're not using the actual 360 controller that's built into Midnight Club 2. It doesn't seem to work properly, so I just didn't bother with it. And I just use that for my steering, and it's a lot more smooth than using left and right on the buttons. When you load up Midnight Club 2, you're greeted with this main menu. It's a little weird to navigate, but use the left analog stick or the D-pad to move around. As you can see here, I went into keyboard setup, but that's not what you want to use. You can change it. There's 3 different ones, but navigating this can be a little bit wild. So let's make sure we go on to the correct one, which is our mouse. Coming into the main menu here, we're going to flick over to our options setting. Now these nested windows are very weird. I'm just using the analog stick here, and we're going to go down to mouse setup. As you can see here, if you go to settings, options, it goes through them. It's kind of nested down in a weird way, but yeah, you don't really need to touch everything else. All the video options are already on. I don't think this game has many settings, so there's not a lot there for you to do. Anyway, go make sure you put on mouse setup. Of course, this is all personal preference. You might just want left and right on as keyboard ones, which is fine, but there's no... With mouse, you can at least kind of do soft turns, where if you're using keyboard, left and right on the D-pad, it's all or nothing, basically. And the reason I'm telling you all this is you need to go through and bind all these keys. Some will be bound, and some you won't need to touch, but some you will need to bind. Even though you've downloaded my controller scheme, you still need to bind these. This just speeds up the process of you not having to go through into the Steam controller settings and making bindings for the D stick, the right trackpad or the left trackpad or whatever else. Right, it means they're all done, and you can kind of pick what you want. Your flashlight for me is Y, and I've got B as my handbrake. So you could go through and change it to X or A, and nitrous is on A for me. So anyway, without further ado, here's some gameplay of Need for Speed, Midnight Club 2. I've never played this game in my life. I only ever played 3, and that was at my cousin's house, and we had such a great time. But the game has got full 8x10 resolution. Like, it fills the whole screen up. There's no black bars. It's kind of crazy. It does run at 90 FPS, so unfortunately I didn't limit it when I recorded this footage. So if it looks jittery, it's my recording. So I do apologize for that, but if you go to play it on my OLED, I'm getting a locked 90. So keep that in mind. The jitters aren't there. It's just me being an idiot when I recorded it. So without further ado, please, if you like this video, give it a like, give it a sub, and tell me what other games you want me to do. This one's been on my list for a little while here, and I finally got around to doing it, so I really appreciate it. Have a great day, have a great night, and we'll see you in the next video.
I'll eat him for breakfast.
She ain't gonna like you, my friend. She ain't the type that likes scrawny losers. Look, shrimp, when the hands drop,